Hi everyone, it's Tuesday night, so it is time to read another choose your own adventure type book, like I do every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So tonight I'll be reading something a little bit different. This was sent to me by Rachel. It's actually a Jem from Jem and the Holograms Choose Your Own Adventure. Technically, it's not a Choose Your Own Adventure. It's part of the Find Your Fate series. So, see here, Find Your Fate. And this was number 2. I'm not sure if this is number 2 in Find Your Fate or if it's number 2 in some kind of Jem series of Find Your Fate books. So, written by Jean Waricha. And does say Jem, truly outrageous. Hi, Jen. Hi, Rachel. So truly outrageous says you are Jem. No, you are Jem. The misfits kidnap an English princess and blame it on you. You have to find her. So here's I guess we're in London or something, and here's the English princess, I'm assuming, is this person here because they're tied to a chair or something. Alright, now I'll read the back. You are Jem, the fabulous and famous rock star. In London to shoot a new video. You're thrilled with your sensational wardrobe and with the guest appearance in your video of a pretty young English princess. You and Princess Sarah become friends. She is excited about riding with you in the rocking roadster to the English countryside for the weekend. But when you stop to change a flat tire, the princess is kidnapped. You're sure the misfits are behind this caper, but everyone will think it's your fault. In your quest to find the princess and save your career, you must make the right choices as you find your fate. All right, here we go. I'm excited. I'm excited too. She's pretty outrageous. The spotlight is on you. You are Jem, the hottest rock star around. You and your group, the Holograms, shot to the top of the rock charts. And that's just where you have stayed, on top. But as famous as you are, almost no one knows your secret. You are really Jerica Benton, president of Starlight Music. The Gemstar earrings you always wear are actually mini transmitters that connect to a super advanced computer called Synergy. It is Synergy that creates the holographic images that transform you into the totally outrageous Jem. And a second, I did not update Facebook to keep track of comments, which I usually do. Yeah, I would tell everyone if I knew Jerica's secret too. Yeah, this was like a big thing in the 80s. I mean, I didn't watch this myself. I was watching like He-Man and that sort of thing. But I knew of Jem. I knew it was a thing. As Jem, you will lead the glamorous life. Just read the story and follow the directions at the bottom of each page. Hurry up, get started. It's showtime. Okay. Jem, the video caper. Tell you an outrageous secret. That's okay, Ryan. I have no idea what's going to happen with this story. I've watched some of the Jem cartoons with Valerie, so I kind of know the characters and stuff. So, but so this was published in 1986 during the heyday of the Jem and the Holograms cartoon. There was also a Jem and the Holograms comic book that was out a few years ago, and that's sort of like a reboot. It updated things. One that says, "To my mother Helen, and to the memory of my father John." Okay. Jerica, Jerica! Rio comes rushing into your office calling your name. "Yes, Rio," you say, looking up at your favorite guy. "What is it?" We're going to London, he tells you, to shoot the video for Jem's new album, Crown Jewels. I just made the deal. That's wonderful. When do you and Jem leave, you ask. No, you don't get it, Rio replies. We're all going. You, me, and Jem. See, Rio doesn't know that Jem and Jerica are the same person. So he doesn't realize that. He's like all into Jem and stuff and doesn't realize. It's kind of like, I guess, like if you know like Superman, you know that like Lois Lane's like super into Superman, but doesn't realize that Superman's actually Clark Kent, and she's like not all that into Clark Kent, at least like not originally. All right. Think fast, you tell yourself. How on earth are you going to get yourself out of this situation? There is no way that all three of you can go to London together. You're Jem and you're Jerica. Oh dear, you tell Rio. Please don't be upset with me, but I can't leave. I'm swamped with paperwork. You and Jem leave tonight, and I'll follow you in a few days. Well, all right, he says reluctantly, but promise me that we can spend some time alone in London. Ooh, time alone. I promise, you say, giving him a quick kiss on the cheek. By the way, says Rio, where's Jem? I can't wait to tell her. She and the holograms are rehearsing in the studio, you answer. Before you can stop him, Rio is out the door. Both Jem and Jerica are also Dr. Vivaldi. You've got to get to the rehearsal studio before Rio. You better act fast. You touch your Gemstar earrings and instantly transform yourself into Jem. Your white business suit turns into a hot pink mini dress. You add a few touches to your makeup, fluff out your pink hair, and you're ready. Before you leave, you can't help but notice yourself in the mirror and think how truly outrageous you look. You slip through a private door that goes from your office to the recording studio. Shanna, Aja, and Kimber are already tuning their musical instruments. Looking good, Shanna tells you. Or is it just Shana or Shanna? I'm not sure. Shanna tells you as you step up to the microphone. You glance over at Aja, Kimber, and Shana. Let's rock and roll, you say. At once, everything comes together. The music, the lyrics, the voices. You see Rio enter the studio. He waits until you finish, then walks towards you. Pack your bags, he tells you. We're off to London to make a video of Crown Jewels. That's wonderful, you say, acting surprised. By the way, he adds, your friend, the Countess du Voisin, will be there, and I'll be able to get a real princess to play a part. Turn to page 3. Or Kimber in the 80s. There actually was someone, actually at work today, like I knew I was going to read this tonight, and there was someone from like another department whose name was Jerica. And I made like a Jem joke, and of course like everyone around me is like in their 20s and didn't know what I was talking about, so yeah, but I don't know how old the person was that was in the other department, if they were from like that, you know, that time period, but all right. You arrive in London the next morning, check into your hotel, and then go directly to the studio. The set is fantastic. You and the holograms try on your costumes. You're happy to see your old friend, the Countess du Voisin, on the set when you arrive. Countess, you say, it's so wonderful to see you again. You'd love to spend time chatting with her, but you see Rio approaching. With him is a beautiful young woman. Countess, Jem, Rio says formally. Allow me to introduce you to the Princess Sarah Ann Paget Smith. What should you do? Do you curtsy? How do you address a princess? Before you can say anything, the princess steps forward. Please call me Sarah, she tells you. You can't imagine what a thrill it is to meet someone as famous as you. Sarah isn't stuck up at all. In a matter of moments, you know that the two of you are going to be great friends. Jem, says the Countess, why don't you, the holograms, and Princess Sarah come to my home this afternoon for tea? You can take my car. It's parked downstairs. Princess Smith. That is pretty, it's Princess Smith. Okay, turn to page 4. What a wonderful idea, you say. Do we have time, Rio? Because, you have to check with Rio to see if you have time or not. Yes, he answers, but take the rehearsal tape with you. Maybe you can play it in the car on the way down. Okay, you agree, taking the tape and slipping it into your pocket. All Rio seems to think about these days is work and Jem. If only he knew. Turn to page 54. All work and all Jem, all the time. Next Rio. Dull boy. Tapes, yeah. Cassette tapes. As you start to leave, you hear a commotion in the hallway and go to investigate. The security guard is escorting 2 young women to the elevator. It's Pizzazz and Stormer, members of the Misfits, the rock group that lives to make trouble for you and the holograms. Take your grubby paws off me, Pizzazz tells the guard. You'll contaminate my outfit. Outfit, says the guard. You'll go out on the end of my foot. Take your snooping elsewhere, my girls. What are Pizzazz and Stormer doing in London? How long were they eavesdropping, and what trouble are they planning? Should you follow the Misfits and try to find out where they are going? Or should you forget about them and drive to the Countess's estate with the princess? If you follow the Misfits, turn to page 9. If you drive to the Countess's estate, turn to page 61. So, pretty sure what Valerie was going to choose. So does anyone think we should follow the Misfits? Or should we drive to the Countess's estate and listen to the cassette tape on the way there? Always follow the Misfits. Yeah, you know the Misfits are up to no good. Oh yeah, we could, if we go to the Countess's estate, we'll get tea probably. So, Misfits. Yeah, pretty much everyone's saying we should follow the Misfits, right? Does anyone think we should not follow the Misfits? I feel like we pretty much have to. Follow. Oh, hey, Sue. Hey. Okay, it's unanimous. The vote must be unanimous. Follow the Misfits, page 9. Anytime the Misfits are there, you gotta follow them. I'll follow the Misfits, you tell yourself, and find out where they're going and what they're doing in London. You walk to the elevator. Sorry, Miss Jem, says the security guard. The lift is on the way down. It'll be just a few minutes until it returns. Oh well, you say casually. Where's the staircase? I can just as easily walk down. No problem. 24 floors, he asks, showing you the door to the stairs. You start down the stairs. You quickly bounce down the first 5 flights. The second 5 slow you a little. After the next 5, you are a little breathless and your legs are shaky. After another 3 flights, you look at your watch and realize that Pizzazz and Stormer must be long gone by now. You'll never catch them. You might as well go back upstairs and meet the princess. Start climbing and turn to page 61. Well, so much for that. It was a choice that was not really a choice. Well, page 61, here we are. You meet the princess and the holograms and head out for the Countess's estate. As you drive, you try to forget about Pizzazz and Stormer. Jem, Sarah says, I know this may sound funny, but I think we're being followed. Suddenly you hear a loud noise and your car swerves all over the road. You struggle to control it. We're going to crash! Oh no! You hold tight to the steering wheel as the car speeds through some bushes near the edge of the road. You are thrown forward as it comes to a sudden stop. Slowly, you, the holograms, and Princess Sarah get out of the car. You're a little shaken. Is everyone all right, you ask? Anyone hurt? Everyone seems to be fine. What happened? Kimber asks. We had a blowout, you tell them, when Aja interrupts you. Look, Aja cries. Someone put nails on the pavement. This was no accident. You hear a roaring noise coming down the road. What's that sound? Says Shayna. You turn your head to look. What on earth? Turn to page 23. Yeah, they probably were not wearing seatbelts, but so it's luckily they're alive. Yeah, you were right, Ryan. All right. Before you can answer, the misfits charge down the road on motorcycles. They throw smoke bombs and jeer as they ride around you. You just knew they were going to cause trouble. Quickly, you shout. Quickly, you shout. Everyone back to the car. Somehow everyone reaches the car safely, or so you think. Where's Sarah, you ask, looking around. Too late. You look out the window just in time to see a big black Mercedes stop. Two men jump out, grab Sarah, and get back into their sedan. Oh no, you gasp. She's being kidnapped. Your heart sinks to your knees. What are you going to do? You've got to save her. Should you drive on to the Countess's estate and notify the authorities? Or will you lose too much time that way? Maybe you should follow the Mercedes and try to rescue the princess. If you decide to drive straight to the Countess's estate, turn to page 20. If you decide to follow the Mercedes, turn to page 46. So if we go to the Countess's estate and alert the authorities, that's page 20. If we try to follow the princess, that would be page 46. It better let us actually follow her and not like have us try to follow her on foot and then we get tired and have to go around, turn around and just do the other option anyways. Follow them. All right, follow the Mercedes. I think we should follow the Mercedes tire tracks before it gets too far ahead, you say. That's a good idea, Jem, says Kimber, opening the trunk of the car and taking out a jack. It's a good thing I took that auto mechanics class in high school. Within 10 minutes, the girls have changed the tire. You drive in the direction the Mercedes went. Soon you notice that the road ends and the tracks lead off the road across a field. Wow, so that's pretty cool that they were able to change their own tire. Especially like something written in the 80s to have that. That's pretty cool. The field is muddy and full of rocks. You don't know if the spare tire will make it on this kind of terrain. You'd better follow the tracks on foot. Listen, Shana, you say. Take the car and go back to the Countess's estate. Call Rio and tell him what happened. Kimber, Aja, and I will track the Mercedes on foot. It can't have gotten too far ahead on this road. Okay, but be careful, Jem, says Shana. It'll be dark soon. Turn to page 16. You, Aja, and Kimber get out of the Countess's car. Ready for action, you say. Let's go. You set a quick pace, jogging beside the tire tracks. I know we wanted to see the English countryside, says Kimber, a little breathless, but this is ridiculous. Slow down, says Aja. I think I see something ahead. Right, you say. It looks like an airfield. Oh yeah, girl power. Yeah, it's all Rio's fault somehow. You spot the Mercedes parked next to a small plane. No one seems to be around. A small ticket shack sits on the edge of the field. Jem, cries Aja. Look at the plane. It says, Eric Raymond Enterprises. I should have known, you exclaim. Eric Raymond will do anything to ruin your career. Ever since your dad died, Eric has done everything possible to cause you grief. This time he has gone too far. Stay here, you tell everyone. I'm going to get a closer look and see what I can find out. Turn to page 65. Oops. Wait, says Kimber. If anyone is around, they'll surely recognize you. Let me go. No, it's too dangerous, you say. You touch your gemstar earrings and instantly transform yourself into Jerica. Everyone may know me as Jem, you say, but few people will recognize Jerica. You set off for the ticket shack. When you reach it, you knock loudly. Come on in. Doors open, a voice says. Hello, you say, entering. I want to charter that airplane outside. Can you tell me where the pilot is? Not for hire, lady, the clerk tells you. That's a private plane. Belongs to an American gentleman. I just fueled it up. Says he's leaving soon. Thank you, you say. I'll try somewhere else. You leave quickly. You touch your earrings and transform back to Jem. Since Jerica is supposed to be back in New York, it would be too risky to keep that identity for too long. Yeah, Eric is a jerk. That guy is always causing trouble. So the Asia, is that supposed to be pronounced Asia? Is that right? I don't know how to pronounce it. When you get back to Asia and Kimber, you tell them that the plane is fueled up and ready to take off. We need to get inside for a better look before the pilot returns. Maybe Sarah is inside. Let's go. Oh, Aja. Okay, Aja. All right, I will pronounce it that way from now on. Turn to page 47. I don't like this, says Kimber, stepping into the plane. It could be trouble. Just as the three of you get inside, you see a jeep driving up to the plane. Who could it be? Quick, hide behind these seats, you whisper. You hold your breath. The jeep stops. Someone is coming into the plane, but you can't see who it is from your hiding place. The sound of footsteps echoes on the metal ladder. Then silence. Okay, girls, a voice says. I know you're here. Come out. You know that voice. Turn to page 5. Page 5. It's Rio. Oh, Rio, you shout. You sure gave us a scare, but I'm still glad to see you. How did you find us? You ask, giving him a friendly hug. After all, he's Jerica's boyfriend, not Jem's. Shayna told me, he says, and I just followed the same tire tracks you did. But now that I'm here, you girls should go home. No way, Rio, you say. Rio, I feel strange, faint. Oh, a hissing sound fills the cabin. Knockout gas, he shouts. Hold your breath. I'm going to try to block the gas. Rio takes off his jacket and tries to snuff it into the vent above you. It's a trap, he says. Someone must have been in here all along. You hear the engine starting up. The plane is taking off. Too late, you say, sliding to the floor. You're out cold. It was a trap. Turn to page 26. Knockout gas. When you wake up, nothing seems very clear. Bit by bit, it all comes back. The knockout gas, the plane taking off. Rio! You go over to the nearest window and look outside. Oh no! Rio, you shout. Asia! Kimber, wake up! We're not in England. I don't know where we are. Slowly, Rio gets to his feet and looks out the window with you. He glances at his watch. We've been out for 5 hours, he tells you. We could be anywhere, Asia adds. She's right. You could be anywhere. You see trees, water, palm trees. You're obviously someplace tropical. Off to the right, you spot a road which cuts through the jungle. Rio, you say, there's a road which leads away from the plane. I think we should get off this plane while we can. Let's take that road. And go where? Asks Rio. We have no supplies, no maps. We're safer if we stay here until we can figure out where we are. Yeah, we're probably not in Antarctica. I'm assuming that. Hopefully she doesn't think that. So if we decide to wait on the plane, like Rio thinks we should, Aza, or Aza, all right, Aza. Yeah, if you decide to wait on the plane, turn to page 30. If you decide to take the road, turn to page 35. Aja. So not Aja. So who thinks we should take the road? And who thinks we should wait on the plane? Alright, I guess we're taking the road. Hitting the road, page 35. Perhaps you're right, Rio says. Let's try the road. You follow the road through the jungle. The sweet aroma of tropical flowers and spice plants fills the air. You hear cries of birds and wild animals. Have you any idea where we are, you ask Rio. The Canary Islands, maybe, or the Caribbean. Who knows, he answers. The road turns into a dirt path. You're getting tired and you're hungry. Do you think we could find something to eat, Kimber asks. Sure, says Rio. Stay here a minute and rest. I'll scout around. Turn to page 50. If I can get to page 50. Within minutes, Rio returns with mangoes and papayas. He neatly pares and slices the fruit with his pocket knife. You have never tasted anything so wonderful in your whole life. The sounds of the jungle are like music. How beautiful, you think. Without realizing it, you start to hum along. Suddenly you sit up straight. Rio, do you hear music, you ask? Yes, he says. It's just the sound of the jungle. You think so? Since when do animals play guitars, you ask? Guitars, say Aja and Kimber in unison. Turn to page 40. Yeah, they'd probably be already dead. Yeah, Rio can cut fruit. He's so awesome. Be able to cut fruit for them. Page 40? Yes. I hear guitar music, you say. You're right, Jem, says Aja. I hear it too. Well, what are we sitting here for? Let's go investigate. At once you start walking down the road. After a short time, the music becomes louder and louder. It seems to be coming from the west. You spot a footpath and show the others. This could be what we're looking for, says Rio. Within minutes, you find yourself in front of a huge iron fence. The gates are locked, but you can see a beautiful villa in the distance. What do you think, Jem, says Kimber. Should we go inside? I'm too tired to go on, you say. Let's take a chance. At least we'll find out where we are. Turn to page 37. You mean a strong man? Not a strong ma. A strong ma. I bring my ma with me. She's real strong. Or someone's ma. Yeah. Page 37. Yeah, you need to have a strong man with you so he can cut some fruit with his pocket knife. I always carry my pocket knife with me everywhere I go. When you walk through the iron gate, you find yourself on a beautiful lawn. In the distance, you can see a crystal blue pool. People are swimming, dancing, and eating. Jem, someone behind you shouts. You stop in your tracks. Aren't you Jem, the rock star? A young man asks, walking towards you. Yes, you say. Eric never mentioned you'd be here, he says. Eric Raymond. That snake. Have you walked right into his nest? Turn to page 51. Stars shouldn't have to walk around an island all day long. They should have a Mercedes to do that for them or something. Shouldn't have to do all that walking themselves. Eric, you say. Eric Raymond? Is he here? Why, yes, continues the young man. What a wonderful surprise. Jem, here in person. Could I possibly persuade you to sing? Maybe later, answers Rio. He takes you by the arm and steers you away. You look over your shoulder and see Kimber and Aja heading for the food. Don't look now, says Rio, but our royal princess is sitting over there, and she doesn't look very uncomfortable. What, you say? Are you suggesting she's a guest? Suddenly a loud, shrill scream fills the air, followed by a splash. Turning around, you see pizzazz emerging from the pool. Rio, you say, I am beginning to smell a rat. Speaking of rats, says Rio, here comes Eric Raymond. Sure enough, Raymond is slowly walking toward you. Jem, my dear, how nice of you to drop in, he says through his gritted teeth. Turn to page 8. Eric smiles at you. He glances around and spots Aja and Kimber at the buffet table. I see your whole entourage is with you, Eric says. Rio steps forward, but you stop him. Zipper, a thug who works for Raymond, is lurking in the background, waiting for a chance to throw a punch at Rio. So you figured out my little game. I must remember never to underestimate you, Jem. You're not as dumb as you look, Eric says insultingly. You glance over at Rio and see that he's about to slug Eric. Although you would love to see Raymond get it right here and now, there are still many questions to be answered. Quick! Rio practically has smoke coming out of his ears. What are you going to do? Let Rio deal with Eric? Turn to page 63. Try to keep him and your temper under control? Turn to page 24. So should we let Rio slug Eric? Throw a punch? You're not as dumb as you look. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was like the ultimate, that's like the worst insult you can come up with, is that she's not as dumb as she looks. So I don't know. We should let Rio deal with Eric? But what about Zipper? What if he tries to slug Eric and then like Zipper shows up? And zips up. Rio. I think we should, I think we want to let Rio deal with Eric. Okay. 63. Hopefully that works out. Whoa. Rio advances towards Eric and pushes him hard, right into the pool. Eric comes up yelling and cursing, but the music is too loud, so the guests think he's just partying a little harder than usual. Before you know it, one of the guests pushes another guest into the pool, and then someone else picks up the idea. Before long, half the guests are in the pool laughing and splashing, and the other half are throwing things and screaming, "Party, party!" at the top of their lungs. Don't look now, Jem, but this party has turned into a brawl. You'll have to wait for another time to get the solution to the video caper mystery. But right now, it looks like you're going for a swim. Splash. The end. Yeah, so looks like we didn't get killed. I don't even know if we can get killed or have something horrible happen to us in this book, but we didn't quite unravel this video caper mystery. So, yeah. But it wasn't a bad ending. I mean, there was a big, party in the pool or something now. And, he did get to push Eric into the pool. Did they ever rescue the princess? Well, maybe, if we try some different choices. Yeah, we gave up because there was a party, Jen, so yeah. We're like, oh, it's a party now. I guess we'll never figure this out now. Oh well. Well, we taught them how to. They were taught how to change a tire, or they were taught that they could change a tire on their own. So that's something at least. So should we go back to this point and try to get Rio to keep his temper under control? Well, no, I like how it was get him to keep his temper and your temper under control, so that it's not just her role is to just keep Rio's temper under control. But she has to keep both their tempers under control. So we could go back to that point, or could go back to something else. Although, I can't remember the last time we actually had to make a choice. So should we just try seeing if we can keep Rio's temper under control? I think we should just do that. I don't know where we were before. Sure, okay. Keep your temper under control, Rio. Page 24. You hold on to Rio's arm. He doesn't move. His fists are tightly clenched, but he stays in control. You have no idea what Eric is talking about, but it must have something to do with the kidnapping and your mysterious airplane ride. What did you hope to accomplish by your little game, you ask, hoping Eric will explain. That's easy. I hired Candy Lane to sabotage your little video, he says, pointing to the so-called princess. Why, the overtime alone would have run into the millions. Plus, we know everyone found out your princess was a fraud. Plus, when everyone found out your princess was a fraud, you would have been the laughingstock of the industry. But why kidnap your own fake princess? Jem, says Eric. The Countess. I never could have fooled the Countess. My little Candy could easily fool you, but never real nobility. You're absolutely furious, but you've got to remain in control. Count to 10. Now turn to page 36, once you've counted to 10. Oh, so are we actually supposed to count to 10 before we turn to page 36? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Whew. Oh, now we're in control. Why do we have to stay in control? I don't know. I do not know why. We don't want to sound crazy, I guess, or something. All right. You're behind all this trouble, says Rio. Quite right, says Eric, amused. No hard feelings, I hope. My pilot got a little carried away with that knockout gas. No hard feelings, says Rio, as he calmly steps forward and pushes Eric into the pool. When Zipper rushes forward, you neatly trip him. He goes flying into the pool as well. Outrageous! Shout Kimber and Aja. We have a great act, says Rio. Act, you say? Getting an idea? Aja, Kimber, we're going to give a special performance. Quick, into the cabana. You pull the rehearsal tape out of your pocket. Rio, put this tape on and announce our act in about 15 minutes. Jem, says Aja, we look awful. We have no costumes, no makeup, no music, and no Shayna. Oh my god, no makeup. That is terrible. Yes, Princess Smith is actually Candy Lane. There was actually no Princess Smith, I guess. And I agree, like, Candy Lane is a ridiculous name. But, okay. I mean, she is an actress, I guess. That's an actress name or something. Stop. All right. Stop complaining, you say. We'll just improvise. Zipper and Eric pulled themselves out of the pool. You'll pay for this, shouts Eric. No, you answer. You'll pay. Turn to page 72. Oh, 72. You, Aja, and Kimber enter the cabana. You shower and change. Okay, Synergy, you say, touching your Gemstar earrings. Showtime. When you and the holograms come out of the cabana, you look outrageous. Your concert costumes glitter in the sun, and the music begins. Rio announces you, and you step up to the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, you say, we are pleased to entertain you today with a benefit concert. You look over at Eric to be sure he is listening. Eric Raymond has generously agreed to double our fee and donate it to the special charity, Starlight House for Girls. Applause. And he has agreed to match any donation you may wish to make. Now you add, showtime. Let's rock and roll. The end. That's probably the best ending we can possibly get. I don't know how that gets any better. I think Eric is not good. It's just like by saying that, by broadcasting that, somehow it's supposed to like make it come true. Because that's how those things work. I mean, wouldn't he just say like, no, I'm not going to do that? Also, when Eric was pushed into the pool this time, and then Zipper was also tripped and fell into the pool, how come other people didn't jump into the pool and like ruin everything this time? But that was a good ending, Beth. I agree. I'm going to try to see what we have to do to get a different ending. Oh, how about where we decided to wait on the plane? What if we decided to wait on the plane? Did anyone think that was a good idea instead of, because that's what Rio wanted to do? We had the option either wait on the plane or we could take the road. I wonder what would have happened if we'd just waited on the plane. And the bit rings a bell. Did you read this back in the 80s, Rachel? Yeah, like I've read some of the Choose Your Own Adventure books. I read them back in the 80s, and like I don't like remember what happened. Like I'll start reading it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I recognize some of these like names of like places and names of people, but I don't know what choices will do what. I would like to see what would happen if we waited on the plane. So that's what Rio wanted to do. I wonder if that was actually going to turn out being a good idea. So let's say we did wait on the plane and we didn't leave the plane. Page 30. You're right. We should stay on the plane, you tell Rio. Maybe we can find out where we are or what happened to Sarah. I'll search the front of the plane while you look around back here. If anyone hears anyone coming out, sing out. Sing out, okay. You reach the cockpit and find a few maps, some empty coffee cups, and a half-eaten apple. No pilot, no crew, no Sarah. The apple reminds you how hungry you are. Maybe the others are having better luck. As you turn to leave, you see men approaching the plane. You run to the back. Someone's coming, you say. I think it's the pilot. Back to where you were, says Rio. Pretend you're still out. We'll see what they do. You hear the pilot climbing into the cockpit. Then you hear the engines revving up. Oh no! The plane is starting to move down the runway. Rio, let's jump off now while we still have a chance, Kimber says. No, Rio. No, says Rio. It's too late to jump. We'll have to stay put. What do you say? If you decide to stay on the plane, turn to page 52. If you decide to jump off the plane, turn to page 68. Jumping off the plane seems like a bad idea. I do have a actually have a Transformers Choose Your Own Adventure. So maybe I'll read that next week. That'll kind of be like it's kind of like in the same format. Might even be the same series. So that would be like a good like juxtaposition to Jump. A couple of votes for Jump, and thinks we should stay. Go jump and jump. I'm waiting for Ryan to say might as well jump. Or is that how that song goes? I forget. Stay. Stay. Don't jump. Ryan, I thought you were going to say jump. Alright. Jump. It's kind of evenly divided between jump and stay. Jump. Go ahead and jump. I think... Go ahead and jump. He just sang that. I was figuring, like, I can't hear you singing it if you're singing it, obviously, but, yeah. Always do the opposite of what Rio says. So Rio's telling us to jump. Rio's telling us not to jump, so maybe we should... Alright, what we're going to do is jump. Because, like, we didn't do what Rio told us to do, and then we had, like, the best ending possible, so... What page? Decide to jump off the plane, turn to page 68. You break both of your legs. No. That's not what happens. Come on. It's tough to turn the pages in this book. I think you're right, Kimber. We should try to get off the plane now, you say. As the plane taxis down the runway, it slows for a turn. Now is your best chance to jump out. Rio moves to the hatchway and slides the door open. The ground seems to be moving awfully fast. Jem, Kimber, Eja, says Rio. Jump now. Try to roll once you hit the ground. Quickly, before the pilot starts to speed up. You hold your breath, cross your fingers, and jump. Somehow you make it without breaking every bone in your body. Asia, I feel like I'm not pronouncing that right again. I don't know why it's like taking me so long to get that right. Aja, Kimber, and Rio follow. All four of you run for cover in the trees. The pilot takes off almost immediately. You watch the plane ascend and eventually disappear. Now what? The silence is unbearable. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you're going. It's hot. You are standing on the edge of a runway in a clearing in a tropical jungle. A breeze and the smell of salt water tells you that you must be near the sea. Maybe you're on an island. Turn to page 32. Rio, you say, we might as well get started. I have the feeling we're going to be doing a lot of walking. You start walking along the edge of the runway to the road leading out of the airport. This would be a beautiful place to spend a vacation, Kimber says, if only we knew where we were. It is awfully hot. The road seems to be leading nowhere. Then you hear a motor behind you. Jem, do you hear that? Aja is practically shouting. I think it's a car. The car is a jeep. As it gets closer, it slows down. You can see a policeman inside. He stops the jeep and gets out. Great, you're saved. At last you found help. Good day, he says. May I see some identification, please? He speaks English. What more could you hope for? Identification, you say. Listen, we've been kidnapped, zapped with knockout gas. We need help. But you have no identification, he asks. But, you try to say. Turn to page 39. Asia. Asia. This is better than the Jem remake movie. Well, I hope so. I heard that wasn't that good. It didn't even have synergy in it. Or did it? I don't know. I guess I don't want to spoil anything. But I heard it wasn't like terrible, but I heard like people that were big Jem fans were disappointed in it. Page 39. And he speaks English. We're saved. As long as he speaks English. What could go wrong? Well, you will have to come with me to headquarters. We have to be careful about smugglers on our lovely island. Don't you recognize this? Asks Kimber. We're their holograms, and this is Jem, the famous rock star. Jem, so you're here to smuggle gems, and your gang is called the Holograms, he says. No, wait, I can explain. Too late, he escorts you into the jeep. It looks like you're going to be explaining for a long time. Sarah has waited this long to be rescued. She is just going to have to wait a bit longer. Right now, your adventure is at an end. Well, you're here to smuggle gems? What? No, my name's Jem. These are my holograms. Right? Doesn't everybody know who Jem is? Jem the gem smuggler. That was pretty funny. That's when we have to use the ledge. Oh, Jem would step up from that ledge, my friend. What if we did not jump off the plane then? So many choices. I think that was way back here. What I do like about this book is it does make you like change pages back and forth so that you don't get a glimpse of like what all the different outcomes might be. Jem smuggles Jerica Benton. Well, that part's true. Where was that? Here we go. If you stay on the plane, let's find out if we. Yeah, that didn't work out too well, Beth. You're right. But it was pretty funny. All right, let's not jump off the plane, and we'll see what happens here. Stay on the plane. Oh wait, no, that's where we did. So stay on the plane. That's page 52. You're right, Rio, you say. It's too late to jump. We'll just have to stay on the plane and see where we go. Well, we might at least enjoy the ride. I found some chocolate bars in the back, says Kimber, passing out the candy. Everyone find a seat and buckle up, says Rio. If the pilot hears us back here, we may get a second blast of that knockout gas. Don't worry about that, you say. When I was searching the cockpit, I saw the fuel tanks and the dial registered near empty. We're not going very far. As if on cue, the plane starts to take a nosedive and spin crazily. This just keeps getting worse. What's happening, you try to say as you stumble around. I'm going to try to reach the cockpit, says Rio, undoing his seatbelt. I'm going with you, you say, hanging onto the seat in front. You and Rio are tossed from side to side. Moving forward is like heading into a wind tunnel. It seems to take hours to move just a few inches. At last, you reach the pilot's cabin. As you look inside, you feel as if someone has just punched you in the stomach. $57. Oh, oops. Just been punched in the stomach. Sounds great. Uh-oh. The pilot's cabin is empty. He has bailed out and left you and your friends alone. You look around the cabin in desperation. You see a bin marked parachutes. Bracing yourself to keep from falling, you open the box. Someone has slashed the silk of the chutes. You sink into the co-pilot seat and look over at Rio. I'm sorry, Rio, you say. I got you into this mess, but we'll figure a way out, somehow. Eja and Kimber appear at the cabin door. They quickly realize the situation. Jem, gasps Kimber. Do something. Don't panic, you say. Go back and buckle yourselves into the seats. We may crash, so brace yourselves. You glance over at Rio, who's taken over the controls. You can fly this plane, you ask incredulously. Yes, he says coolly. I could, if we had a map, if we had enough gas, and if you could find a landing strip. Turn to page 62. Don't panic. It's fine. It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy suddenly. Don't panic. Alright. Now, yeah, this is a good time to panic. Rio taps his finger against the glass dial on the panel. Empty, he says. Look out the window, Jem. No flat land. Can't land in the trees. You desperately search the landscape for open space. Maybe the dial is broken, you say hopefully. We could have a full tank. Almost immediately, the right engine starts to sputter. The propellers slow, then stop. Then the left engine sputters, but miraculously it starts running again. But for how long? Hang on, says Rio. I don't know, why did they tap on the gauge? I don't see how that's supposed to help. Do you know where your towel is? No. Always bring your towel. Alright, then the engine sputters, but miraculously it starts running again. But for how long? Hang on, says Rio. Brace yourself. We're going to make a crash landing. You look over at Rio. You'd love to tell him your secret, that you're both Jerrica and Jem. All you have to do is touch your earrings, and he'll know. But not just yet, you think. Let me look one more time. There has to be a place to land this plane. Turn to page 14. All you have to do is just touch your Gemstar earrings. He'll know. Alright. How come I can't get to page 14? Okay. The plane dips lower and lower. Rio is struggling to keep it aloft. Your eyes skim the countryside. You spot water. Rio, there's the water. That means beach, sand, flat land. Rio maneuvers the plane towards the water. The jungle grows right to the edge of the water. No luck. Huge rocks appear on the beach. You hold your breath. Your heart is pounding so loud. Rio must hear it. You turn away so he won't see how frightened you are, and brace yourself for the crash. Turn to page 10. You don't want Rio to know how frightened you are. That would be terrible. The plane sinks lower. It's sand, shouts Rio. You open your eyes as he neatly lands the plane. Everyone is safe. But what about Sarah? Is she safe? And how are you going to get out of here? Somehow, you know these are important questions. But right now, just being alive is a gift. Hey, you say, tapping Rio on the arm. Want to go for a dip? That sounds like a good idea. Cool off now, and then you'll be ready for more adventure the next time you dip into the video caper. You're gonna land a plane on beach sand. I mean, maybe if you have like holograms and stuff, you can. Maybe that's, use some holograms. All right, well, we are alive. Why do we never care about the princess? I don't know. She's fine. Let's see. I just wonder if I should maybe try one more option. If I have time for that. If we have solved nothing, we don't know where we are, but hey, there's a beach. Let's go, let's take a dip. Sounds great. All right. How about when we decided to follow the Mercedes when we could have gone right to the Countess's estate? Did we want to try that? We still could do that. Yeah, the princess is pretty boring. Like, we didn't learn it. Well, is the princess like still a fake no matter what options we choose? Like, there was a choose your own adventure where, like, depending on what choices you make, it's either like the story would just totally change and the character would become something totally different. So I wonder if some cases the princess is real and in some cases she's fake. Yeah, let's try going directly to the Countess's estate, because we never interacted with the Countess really, or at least not that much. We must get to the Countess's estate and notify the authorities, you say. I agree, says Kimber, but first we've got to fix this tire. You, Aja, and Kimber are able to fix the tire without wasting too much time. Aja reads you the map, and you drive directly to the Countess's estate. The Countess greets you at the door when you arrive. Jem, I was getting worried about you, she says. Come into the library. Once inside, you tell her what has happened. She listens calmly. I knew something was wrong, she says, walking towards the desk. This note came for you just minutes before you arrived. She hands you a sealed note. Your name is typed on the envelope. A chill runs down your spine as you read the note. If you want to see the princess alive, go to the old deserted castle in Tannington Wells. No police. Come alone. Someone will be watching you. Turn to page 31. The note is typed. There are no clues as to who wrote it or what they want with you. Countess, you say, do you know anything about the castle mentioned in the note? I'm afraid I've never been there, although it is very close by, the Countess answers. I can draw you a map showing you how to get there. The place is open to tourists during the summer, but now it should be closed. Well, you say, someone is planning a special opening for me. You're not going, says Shauna, breathless. It has to be a trap. Jem, says Kimber, let us all go with you. We can surprise them and rescue the princess. It's safer that way. I won't let you put yourself in danger. I don't know, Kimber, you say. I think I might have to go alone. The princess's life could be in danger. It would be safer for her if I follow their directions. What should you do? If you decide to follow Kimber's advice and take the holograms with you, turn to page 53. If you decide to go alone, turn to page 42. It must be a trap, so let's all go and we'll all get trapped. I'm just going to drink some water. All right. And, wait, this was published in 1986? But it's $15? Wow. Just realized that. Because all the Choose Your Own Adventure books I always read, I'll always like look at the pricing from that time. It doesn't say it was reprinted or anything. Wow. Okay. Turn to page 42. That would be to go alone. So should we all go? Royalty. So maybe we should go alone. Jem. Yeah, no, it's not a reprint. It's like the original book, right? Or the licensing. Huh. Anyone think we should all go? We should all go? Anyone else think we should all go? Go alone, all. And together, 1, 2. Well, all right, we'll all go. I feel like going alone might be dangerous. If things seem to be going badly, then we'll immediately go back to just going alone. Kimber's right, you decide. With the hologram's help, you may be able to sneak up on the kidnappers and surprise them. I think you may be right, you say. In fact, I already have a plan. Kimber, you say, you should stay here in case the kidnappers try to reach us. If you don't hear from me in 2 hours, call Rio and tell him what happened. You want to be sure Kimber is in a safe place. After all, she is your sister. You'd never forgive yourself if she got hurt. You can tell Kimber is disappointed, but she knows better than to argue with you about something like this. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Take this tire iron. All right. Aja, Shayna, this may be dangerous. Are you sure you want to come along? Yes, they reply. Let's do it. Good, you think to yourself. Aja's karate could come in handy, and Shayna is good at staying cool under pressure. Turn to page 67. Oh yeah, she does have a guitar motorcycle, that's true. What page was I going to? 67. Oops. You, Aja, and Shayna drive to the castle following the map drawn by the Countess. As you approach the front entrance, you turn off your lights. We'll park the car here, you say. Aja, open the hood and pull out some part so the car will look disabled. Aja quickly lifts the hood. I wish I knew more about cars. Here goes nothing. Aja falls to the ground after a loud pop. Sparks fly out from the car. Aja, are you okay? Are you hurt? You yell. Yeah, it sounds like she's hurt. She knows karate. Obviously. Why wouldn't she know karate? Everybody's going to be kung fu fighting. I think we all would have missed the racist part back in 1986. Just the part that she knows karate. Quiet, Jem, Aja says, standing up. You'll wake the dead. I thought this was supposed to be a surprise party. The three of you have a fit of giggling. Then you set off across the drawbridge. The castle actually has a moat. We can't just walk up to the front door and ring the bell, says Shayna. Who do we ask for? The kidnappers? That is just what we were going to do, you answer, after we make a few changes. You touch your Gemstar earrings, and instantly, Aja, Shayna, and instantly you, Aja, and Shayna are transformed into 3 punk rockers, complete with spiked hairdos. When you ring the bell to the great hall of the castle, it's answered by someone you've met before. It's Zipper, a thug who works for your old enemy, Eric Raymond. Somehow you knew he was involved. Zipper stands in the doorway and gawks at you. He likes what he sees. Hello, love, he says. What can I do for you three ladies? Our wheels broke down, Shayna says. Can you give us a hand? My pleasure, he says. Just lead the way. Shayna and Zipper go off towards the car, and Zipper doesn't notice that you and Aja slip inside the door to the castle. Turn to page 41. You and Aja enter the hallway. A candelabra lights the entranceway. Both of you take a lit candle and start to explore the nearest rooms. But first you call on Synergy to transform you back into your normal look. It's kind of spooky in here, whispers Aja, following closely on your heels. We'll stick close together, you say. A sudden clanging noise scares both of you, and you bump into each other. What was that? Gasps Aja. I think it came from the cellar. Let's take a look, you say, turning around. Aja is gone. Aja, where are you? You whisper. Over here, Jem, says Aja, and be quiet. When you find her, Aja has started to climb a set of stairs that lead to the second floor. Jem, she says, when we were walking across that bridge in front of the castle, I am sure I heard a light. I'm sure I saw a light in the tower room. Just now I heard voices. One was a woman's voice. It could be Sarah. Aja, you say? Didn't you hear that clang? It came from the cellar. Maybe we should look downstairs first. Where do you want to search for Sarah? The tower room? Turn to page 11. Or if you want to search the cellar, turn to page 27. Should we go to the tower room, or should we go to the cellar? We heard a clanging sound coming from the cellar, and we heard what sounded like a woman's voice coming from the tower room. Tower? Go to the tower? The tower. Okay. Sounds like everyone wants to go to the tower. We'll go to page 11. All right, you tell Aja. We'll try the tower first. Here, you go first. I'll follow. Slowly you walk up the stairs. The flights are steep, but you keep climbing. If Sarah is up there, you've got to save her. When you finally reach the top, you see a long, narrow corridor ahead of you. The walls are made of stone, and you have the awful feeling that you're in a tomb. There's a light on in the room at the end, says Aja. Can you see it? Look under the doorway. Yes, you say. Let's go. As you and Aja walk down the corridor, you notice that the door to one of the rooms is open. Look, you whisper to Aja. That door is open. Maybe we should see what's inside. We might find something we can use to protect ourselves. I don't need protection, says Aja, doing a quick karate move on an invisible enemy. Let's go directly to the tower room. We've got to hurry. Zipper might come back any minute now. I just did some karate moves, so it'll be okay. Yeah, we're going to the tower. So, do we decide to look inside the room closer to you? And if so, we go to page 7. There might be some racism in that room. I don't know. We might find some. There might be some more karate moves in there. Yeah, she just did a karate kick to the darkness. Do we still want to? Do we want to go to the tower room? Continue on to the tower room, and that's page 33, or should we stop at the room that's closer to us? Or should we do some more karate? Or should we turn to page 107 and do some karate moves? Inside the room? Tower? Keep going to the tower? Closer? Tower. Any more votes for either the tower or the room closer to us? Turn to page karate moves. Tower. Alright, I guess we'll continue on to the tower. The room might be a diversionary tactic. Page 33. Alright, Aja, you say. I think you're right. We can't waste time exploring every room in this old castle. Let's go directly to the tower room. You and Aja tiptoe past the open door and stop in front of the door leading to the tower room. You listen at the door and hear faint voices inside. What are they saying? Aja whispers. I can't tell, but one is a girl's voice. You and Aja look around. You're standing in front of a solid wooden door. There is a window in the hallway to the right. Try the window, you tell Aja. Can we get outside that way? Aja opens the window and leans out. There's a narrow ledge out here, she says. I think we might be able to use it to walk around and surprise whomever is inside the room. Maybe, you say, but I think we should just knock on the door and see what happens. So should we just knock on the door and see what happens? That would be page 44 if we just want to knock on the door and just see what happens. Or we could step out on that ledge, my friend, which would be page 48. Thinks we should just knock on the door, see what happens. I mean, both choices sound kind of bad. Like, going out onto the ledge seems like dangerous, but just going up to the door and knocking on it also. Ledge. Yeah, it seems like we should do the ledge. Knocking on the door would be the smart move, so ledge, yeah. Ledge, alright. Doing the ledge. Oh, you're right, you tell Aja. I think we should try the ledge. Then at least we'll have the element of surprise on our side. You and Aja step cautiously out of the window. Once on the ledge, you begin to wonder if you've made a mistake. With your faces to the wall, you edge your way around the corner. Careful, you tell Aja. If we fall, we go into the moat. When you reach the other side of the tower, you find yourself in front of a 6-paned window. Will it open? Asks Aja. I'm not sure. Give it a try. Aja puts both hands on the sill and pushes. Nothing at first. Then it moves. No, it doesn't move. You moved. What? The ledge. It's crumbling. You're falling. You hold your nose and take a dive into the moat. This rescue idea was all wet, and you've left Princess Sarah high and dry. Surprise. Surprise, you're dead. So, did we didn't get killed, but the number of panes. Yeah, that's important to know how many panes there are to the window. Okay. That was not cool. Where was that? Tower. To the tower. Alright, so we'll just knock on the door then. Turn to page 44. If I can get to that page. Ah. Help. Help, I can't turn pages. What happened? Oh. We'll try the door, you say. Just let me listen, again. As you place your ear to the door, you hear someone shout, Untie me now! You've got to act fast. It sounds like something is going to happen inside the room. Aja, you say, get ready. I'll knock on the door. When someone answers, I'll step aside and you knock them down. Ready, says Aja. She gets into her karate stance. As she gets into her karate stance, you pound on the door and quickly step aside. The door opens a little bit. Aja rushes the door and jumps inside. Aye! She shouts. Then there is silence. Finally, Aja calls, Jem, come quick. Oh no, you fear the worst. Are you too late? Did you make a mistake? You rush into the room. You're shocked. What took you so long? Says Sarah as you enter the room. Sarah has Eric Raymond neatly tied to a chair and is playing checkers with him. Let's go, says Sarah. No, wait, she adds. He owes me $10. He may be a king rat, but your Mr. Raymond isn't much at checkers. The end. Yeah, I just didn't know which room it was going to be in, but we did definitely find some racism in one of the rooms. She did some karate moves, and then she did a karate stance. And then she did a buffalo stance. Yeah, so I think I'll stop here. I've been reading for a while, so this was a lot of fun. A little different than the sort of thing I would normally read. I definitely would, be open to reading more Jem Find Your Fate books in the future. I know. Yeah, so I think next week maybe I'll do. This would be a good time to do the Transformers Choose Your Own Adventure book that I have, just because that's like also like a very 80s type, toy. It was a toy and a cartoon and all those other things during the 80s, but like more. But I guess girls played with the Transformers, but more like toys that boys played with, Yeah, I don't know how I got it. I found a Transformers Choose Your Own Adventure book somewhere. I'm not sure which bookstore I got it at. It wasn't too long ago, though. That one doesn't seem like more when you look at it. I hear it's more than meets the eye. Well, it is. I mean, Jerica transforms into Jem a lot in this book, so there's a lot of transforming going on in this book too. Just like different types of transforming. So, Misfits being one of the charts. I don't think that's one of the endings. I mean, that would have. Well, the book would consider that to be a sad ending, but. Oh, holding it. Well, the Transformers, they can get married, right? Why can't the Transformers have a wedding? I mean, seems like they would every now and then. Like, what else are they going to do? Just transform all day long? Okay, bye, Sue. All right, so yeah, so I guess I'll stop here. I want to thank Rachel for sending me this book. It was a lot of fun to read. I definitely have just had a lot of fun reading these books every Tuesday night. It's been great, and have a lot more books to come. So as long as people show up to listen to me read these books, I'll keep reading them. Yeah, I'll play G.I. Joe and Glamour Gals. Go back to the dollhouse and have a party. I've never heard of Glamour Gals, but I've heard of G.I. Joe. With Glamour Gals, that was also like an 80s thing. Bat Synergy. Yeah, there was no Synergy. I wish Synergy had showed up. I'll look to see if there's more. If they did more Jem Choose Your Own Adventure books. See if I can find those. Oh, Tuesday night D&D. Oh, but it's moved to Mondays. Okay. Yeah, I think I might. I was going to get back into doing D&D, like on Roll20 or something. Maybe I'll. Well, eventually we are going to start up D&D, right? All right. Next week, yep, Optimus Prime and Megatron for sure. All right. Okay. Well, I guess I will really stop here, and I will see you all later. Take care, everybody.